Hey guys, thought I'd show you guys that it's actually possible to swap out a hot water tank for an RV hot water heater, gas hot water heater. That's not the same model. So this tank started leaking from the exhaust here, and it was caused by the heating element. This is an electric heating element. So this goes in the tank, and it was actually touching the exhaust pipe, which is the exhaust comes out of here, so the flame enters here and the intake of air comes in here. It loops around inside the hot water tank, which is behind this cover, and the exhaust comes out of here anyways. So this hot water heater element, electric one, was just touching the tip of it was just touching the exhaust pipe and inside of the water tank. So eventually with time it just corroded out and pierced. So my friend gave me another tank, which was also an Atwood, but it was over here on this plug you had a gas regulator. That one was only gas and not electrically controlled. So basically this hot water heater only lights when it needs heat, and if it's not lit, there's no pallet light, it's just ignition. And the other tank uses a pilot light, so there's always a small flame, and that's what lights your gas as it starts to come through. So I looked at the dimensions, the tank, everything else was identical except for this outlet, which sort of interferes with the gas regulator here, but I was able to move it forwards or out just a bit by adjusting this bracket location here. I basically maxed it out in the slots, and that resolved the issue. So I'll show you a clip in a second of the tank outside, like the one I removed, and like what basically sits on the inside of this. So stay tuned. This is what the tank looks like once it's out of the unit. It's the back side. That's on the inside. That's where your inlet and your outlet hot water come out. So I'd show you guys what that looks like after you remove it. A little quick thing that I forgot to mention. You see this ring here? It's like sort of like a disc that crushes in. This is what holds the tank tightly and ensures that there's sensors under here that they hold pressure against the tank. So initially when I took the tank off, I just cut them off with tin snips, but to reuse them, I just tack welded a little tack weld up here, and I'm gonna try banging them back in. Let's see how it goes. All right, so what I did is I just kind of used this long punch here and just pushed it in as I was pulling on the tube, kind of in a circular, and just at one point I had to hammer it a bit in there right at the beginning. And I did the same thing with this one. As you can see right there is the where it's tack welded. So actually it's holding nice and firm. And I just took this little cover off under here. You see the little sensors, and those are just like touching the tank, and this is what measures the temperature. So basically it's like just a sensor pushed in with a spring and just contacting the tank. That gives it this sensor temperature on and off. So that's got nice firm pressure, and yeah, so I was able to recycle these clamps. I noticed there's a bit of a crack here on the cover, so I'll be sealing that up with some exhaust sealant, because it does get quite a bit hot over here. But then there's another heat shield that goes over this, and then the grill. So So show you a quick snap when I'm all done. And this is running. Also got to reattach these wires that I cut here to be able to remove it. So I'll fix all that and test it out. All right, so this is what it looks like on the inside. So all that foam kind of all broke apart. I wasn't able to push it out the hole without breaking all this apart. So you can see, like, it's like all broken. So I'm just gonna take that gasket sealant and or a bunch of tie wraps and just kind of glue it all back on. Just have to make sure the glue I'm using doesn't melt that foam. So that's what it looks like on the inside. For the electric heat, this is the sensor that they had going here. It's kind of dumb that it's that low on the tank. You know, they should have made the hole up here. But I guess we just set the temperature a little lower. So that was holding on with some sort of heat resistant or somewhat heat resistant two-sided tape. We'll be putting that back on and maybe using a big long tie wrap to hold it. Make sure even if the tape lets go that it still holds. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the inside. There's the two attachments after being reinstalled. Anyway, this is all sitting under the fridge. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do to prevent this from happening again. As you can see, there's two like they call them, forget, spacers, or anyway, regardless, you see these two brass pieces here. This used to be just one. So this will give me an extra about maybe 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch extra clearance inside the tank. Might cause a little more clearance issues on the gas line here, so I'll have to work around that, but at least this will prevent this from, probably just run that over there. There's still plenty of clearance from the box for the wiring, and this will give me about 1/2 inch inside so it doesn't hit the exhaust tube like it used to and pierce a new hole in this new old tank. So that's what I'm going to do to prevent this from happening again. There you have it. So one thing I forgot to mention is that obviously this outlet was designed to hold the other gas regulator, and there's a thermostat going in there, and that's what controls the gas regulator for the gas only powered hot water heater. Anyways, this hole wasn't there. I just cut that open with some tin snips to allow this to come through. Otherwise it would have hit the cover here. So that's the only difference in the two tanks. And obviously I had to add a plug, some Teflon tape. So this is no how-to video. It's just to kind of show you, if anybody out there is wondering if you can swap out a gas only hot water tank into a electrically ignited hot water tank. You can, because I just proved it, and it takes a little bit of work, but you know, I got the tank for free from a buddy, so it's quite expensive to buy the whole thing new. Even just a tank brand new is quite expensive, and I think Atwood does make a replacement tank though. So if you don't feel like doing this, or you don't have one to do it with, well, you can always just buy a brand new one. But yeah, I just thought I'd show that this is possible. You know, obviously there's other better videos on how to change just the tank on YouTube, so I hadn't seen anybody do this. So it would basically be the same instructions, just you got to cut a hole in this cover. Anyways, if you find this interesting and you're interested in future helpful videos, like, subscribe, comment. I'll try to answer. Thanks for watching.